Greetings. It is December 16th, 2017. I'm Akiva Kenny Segan, a volunteer coordinator of the Facebook page called the Seattle Campaign for Pedestrian Safe All Walk/Cross Intersections. And I just came across an op-ed I wrote that was published in the Seattle Post-Intelligencer, the late newspaper, which now exists in an online edition only as the Seattle PI. This is published Saturday, October 15th, 1988. Metro could bend to increase ridership, and it has me described as a librarian. I was actually a library clerk. It says Ken Akiva Segan is a Seattle librarian who rides the bus. Soapbox columns are contributed by readers, so I'm going to read my op-ed exactly word for word as it was published. October 15th, 1988, Soapbox, Metro could bend to increase ridership, by Ken Akiva Segan. As our city goes through the difficulties associated with an increasing population, urban growth, and its shadow congestion, a re-examination of Metro Transit's current and proposed changes is urgently needed. Our city is choking more and more frequently on stagnant and polluted air. Yet while mass transit still represents the most effective and clean method for us to commute to our workplaces and to our social and recreational activities, what we have is a declining ridership, a disillusioned staff of hard-working drivers and support staff, and an economic red herring. Declining ridership is the main problem. What are the contributors? And then I have got, they publish like kind of three kind of squares, kind of like indentations. The first one was periodic fare increases that hurt most the riders who depend on the buses for transit, but that are more manageable by the middle-class commuter. And the second, declining service in the form of chaotic scheduling, tardiness, and breakdowns. And then the third, a growing public perception that the buses are unsafe. There is physical and verbal harassment of drivers and passengers by some other passengers, fights between passengers, most often drunks downtown on routes I ride, actual assaults, and the fear of such. I recommend the following two changes as real options to continuing the status quo. First, cut the fares substantially to a rate that promotes increased ridership. That would serve not only to recoup the lost passengers of recent years, but to capture new riders. How is this possible in the face of declining revenues? Metro needs more riders and needs them more than ever. The loss per fare would be offset by the increase in ridership. Metro needs to restore public faith in a battered transit system. Fare reductions have the potential not only to gain those new allegiances, but to get the wheels rolling on other high-priority issues. The system also needs to rejuvenate employee morale, generate more government funding for mass transit, seek bus designs that use less space and energy, and solve scheduling problems that make the riders irritable and frustrated. Why doesn't Metro charge a fare of 25 cents for all children and youths through the age of 18? Youngsters are already under severe social and economic pressures, especially those outside the white mainstream of educational, corporate, and suburban success in quotation marks. Black, Hispanic, immigrants from Southeast Asia and elsewhere, working class or outright poor youths have little or no incentive to bus it when the quote-unquote real drive is to get wheels. But they need and deserve a transit system they can afford. Let me paraphrase an outrageous but true analysis I heard last year. Anyone who's still riding the bus at age 21, and then in parentheses, will try substituting 25, 30, or 38, my age, end of parentheses, hasn't quote-unquote made it. Success has just passed them by, and these young adults know it as sure as I'm Ken Segan. They need a price incentive that makes sense in a society where the car represents mobility, power, and prestige. Metro wants a one-zone adult peak fare of 75 cents, up from 65 cents, and a two-zone peak fare of $1.25, up from $1. All other fares are to remain the same. I would lower the fare increase across the board to a flat 50 cents per trip. Seniors, the handicapped, and youth would continue to retain the special rates they already have, or that which I propose above. Why not give Seattle riders a transit system which is cost-effective, popular, and one that could be a role model for other cities in the same boat? My second recommendation concerns security. Eliminate all plainclothes officers. Suit them up in uniform. The public is concerned about how safe we are, and in parentheses, and you can be certain folks don't continue riding if they have the option of driving or carpooling if they feel threatened at all, end of parentheses. Metro needs the most visible method to reassure us that security is there when it's needed. Highly visible officers riding the buses, dealing with problem situations in an effective and orderly manner, while providing a visible yet unobtrusive presence. That will reassure the riding public and let the troublemaker know that it's not wild in the aisle on Route 66. Fear of personal safety knows no color line, no age range, no gender gap, or religious or ethnic difference. People want to know that the people are there when we need them. I'd recommend as an extra presence that non-Metro police officers who commute to and from work via Metro do so in uniform. New York City instituted this for their non-transit police officers during a period of peak bus and subway crime in the 1970s, and it worked to a very effective degree. I guarantee this will have a pronounced and desired effect of making the buses safer for everyone, or I'll eat my rain hat in front of Metro's customer assistance office at 4th and Seneca, and they can call out the press if they want. And then when I saved this, it looks like I must have adhered it with a glue stick or something to a piece of like mat board or something. I saved a article, must have been in the PI, published February 1988. Oh, sorry, this is by me. Read that in a moment. This is an article I saved. It was published January 26, 1989. Bus fare increase could cause 300,000 fewer passenger trips. This wasn't by me. It was a news article. Metro officials expected the first bus fare increase in 4 years, starting February 6th and affecting peak hour traffic only, could mean as many as 300,000 fewer passenger trips this year, agency spokesman Dan Williams said yesterday. The new rates in effect weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. and 3 to 6 p.m. include 70 cents, up from 60 cents for one-zone trips, and $1.25, up from $1 for two-zone trips. The cost of a monthly peak hour pass rises from $24 to $26 for one zone, and $36 to $42 for two zones. Increases in annual peak hour passes are $264 to $286 for one zone, and $396 to $450 for two zones. Off-peak cash fares and pass prices, as well as fares and passes for seniors and those disabled, will not change, Williams said. Riders can also buy passes at the lower 1988 rates before February 6th and then use them through their expiration dates, he added. So a short letter to the editor I wrote was published in February, the following month, although I don't have the date here. Metro Transit Agency headed in wrong direction with fare increase. Among the proposals I suggested in my October 15th, 1988 soapbox, Metro could bend to increase ridership, is that Metro ought to reduce fares to recapture its lost ridership of the past years and gain new riders in the process. Not only would this bring in greater income than the proposed fare increase, as initially proposed in the spring of 1988. It would invigorate a transit system plagued by low employee morale, security problems, and chaotic service in construction zones. With the first fare increases in 4 years now a reality, and I referred to that same article, the short article I just read. Bus fare increase could cost 300,000 fewer passenger trips January 26. The agency's own spokesman make Metro look more foolish than ever. I propose that Metro Council members lacking the wherewithal and common sense to revoke the increase, and in parentheses, which is guaranteed to make Metro's losses far worse and the city's congestion much greater, then they should all resign. Lacking the vision to do that, the city and county should fire them and appoint directors who can add 2 + 2 and who ride the bus. There you have it. Now that it's 29, almost 30 years later, it's interesting to see what's happened over the last 29, 30 years. You know, when I first moved to Seattle in 1980, they used to talk about Seattle and King County. And then it was like by the late 1980s, people referred to the region as the Tri-County region. King, Snohomish, Pierce, all in like one fell swoop package. Congestion is phenomenal now. There's population has increased probably by several 100,000 people, and the congestion is only getting worse. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. And there you have it, as I wrote about it, and as the Seattle Post-Intelligencer of blessed memory printed it, along with that other news article there.